Okay, so hello. Today we'll be discussing uh, on how to make the income statement. So last time, diniscuss natin kung paano gagawa ng balance sheet. So today naman is we'll be discussing on making the income statement. Okay, ang goal natin para sa income statement is to provide the net income or net loss of a business for a specific period. Right? Yung period na yon is dependent on the business, pero it is most commonly na 1 year. Okay? So, first is let's take a look on the service type of business. So, like I said in our previous discussion, the service type of business, medyo simple lang siya. Kasi, ang income statement ng service type, meron lang revenues from the services, tapos i-deduct lang natin ang mga expenses. Okay, so an example of an income statement of a service type of business is this. Okay, as you can see, in Ingram Online Consulting, this is the name of the business. Tapos lagay natin income statement or statement of comprehensive income. Pwede din yan. For the year ended December 31, 2020, ay December 31. Okay, tapos lagay nyo ang year. Right, sabi dito for the year. Okay, hindi specific date kasi for the whole year given the year na ilalagay natin. Right? So first is yung revenue. Okay? Yung revenue is yung revenue lang natin from our services or yung ginagawa natin sa business, right? Pwede ding maglagay tayo ng ibang revenue tulad ng dividend income or mga interest income, kung kahit anumang revenues na na-receive natin or na earn natin, i-provide natin dito sa revenue. Tapos, i-deduct lang natin ang mga expenses. So, yung mga wages, rent, advertising, right, depreciation, mga supplies na ginamit natin for supplies expense, and the interest expense. Okay, we just deduct all of these expenses from the revenue to get the operating income. Tapos, from the operating income, we just deduct the tax kasi wala pang nade-deduct na tax dito. So, we deduct the tax. Tapos, nandun na yung net income natin. Okay? So, ganun lang kasimple ang income statement ng isang service type. You just provide the revenues or your income, tapos i-deduct yung mga expenses. Next is the income statement of a merchandising. Okay? So, for the merchandising, meron tayong isang example din dito. Okay, so, first, kapag merchandising naman, we get first yung gross income, right? Or your net sales less your cost of goods sold. Okay, kasi nga ang merchandising is concerned with the buying and selling. Siyempre, i-determine muna natin ang income from our selling. Okay, so first is yung net sales. So, gross sales of 10,000 nakalagay dito. Tapos, i-deduct natin ang sales returns para makuha ang net sales. Remember, para makuha ang net sales, we should deduct the sales returns, sales discounts, tapos yung mga allowances, right? To get the net sales. So, ganun lang yan. We just deduct all of those three from the gross sales to get the net sales. Tapos, to get the cost of goods sold, we get the beginning inventory, right? 3,000 dito, ang beginning inventory nila. Tapos, we add yung mga purchases, yung binili natin. Tapos, we add yung freight in or yung mga shipping fee na binayaran natin. Tapos, yung storage dito is hindi common ito. Right? Most commonly is ini-expense natin ito, right? Like rent expense, yung nagagasto natin for storage. So, most commonly, i-disregard natin ito. Tapos, kapag na-add natin yun, we get the goods available for sale of 3,900. Tapos we less the ending inventory of 1,000 to get the cost of goods sold of 2,900. Okay? So, to get yung cost of goods sold naman, i-deduct natin from the net sales, right? So, bale ito yung nabenta natin, tapos ang cost of goods sold is the amount or yung cost ng binenta natin. We deduct it from the sales, tapos we get the gross profit. Okay? Ito yung income natin from our sales, yung gross profit, 6,600. Tapos, syempre, we add the additional revenues and additional expenses. In this case, wala siyang additional revenue, so we just deduct the expenses. So, we deduct the rent expense of 500, deduct the wages expense of 1,000, and deduct utilities expense of 250. Okay, to get the total expenses of 1,760, so 1,750, right? So, hindi ko alam kung saan nanggaling ang yung total expenses kasi dito, inad lang ang 1,750 sa cost of goods sold, pero hindi dapat ina-add yun. Hindi natin ina-add, so we disregard yung total expenses. Bali, ang expenses na natin is yung total general and administrative expenses na 1,750. So, 6,600 na gross profit, di ba? So, 6,600 natin, i-deduct natin yung expenses natin na 1,750, we get the net income of 4,850. Okay, so this is one example of the income statement from a merchandising. Okay, so first, let's discuss a problem para mas maunawaan natin kung paano gumamit or mag-construct ng income statement from scratch. Okay, so here we have the information of Carla Company. Okay, so we have the purchases. Okay, remember, purchases is ginagamit natin to get the cost of goods sold. Yung purchase returns and allowances, we deduct it from the purchases to get the net purchases. Rental income, so ito na yung sinasabi kong other revenue aside from the sales. Rent income. Selling expenses, we have freight out. Freight out, ito yung shipping fee na binayaran natin sa mga binenta natin. Right? So, yung freight in is binayaran natin for our purchases. Yung freight out naman is binayaran natin for our sales. Okay, so these are expenses, freight out, salesman's commission expense, depreciation on store equipment, this is also an expense. So, nakalagay nga dito, selling expense ang mga yon. Merchandise inventory on January 1, so we will be using this to compute for the cost of goods sold. This is the inventory at the beginning. So, was merchandise inventory, December 31. We will be using this again to compute for the cost of goods sold. This will be the inventory at the end. Next is sales, syempre. Dito tayo nag-start ng sales. Tapos, meron tayong sales returns and allowances. And sales discounts. Ang dalawang ito is dinededuct natin from sales to get the net sales. Okay? Tapos, meron tayong additional expenses na administrative. We have officer salaries and depreciation again. This time for the office equipment. Okay, tapos next is your freight in. Freight in is we will be adding it to the purchases to get the cost of goods available for sale or goods available for sale. Tapos your income tax, ito yung income tax expense natin. Loss on sale of equipment, this is also another expense. Hindi naman expense talaga, pero this will be, i-deduct natin ito as other expenses. Purchase discounts, this will also be deducted from the purchases to get the net purchases. Dividend revenue, ito is another type of other income. Additional income natin ito aside from sales. Loss on sale of investment. So, parehas lang din ng loss on sale of equipment. Parehas na madededuct as other expenses. Okay? So, this will be ito yung kita ng income statement natin. Under this type of income statement is pinagtitipon na natin yung mga cost of sales and your mga other incomes and other expenses, right? Pero we can also separate it, right? Pwede natin i-separate ang computation ay ilagay yung sales, tapos we just deduct the sales returns and allowances, sales discounts to get the net sales revenue. Ganun, pwede nating hindi pagtitipunin or i-present na lang yung mga computation ng mga ito at the income statement. Pwede din yun. Pero dito is we combined it. Okay, so first is yung sales revenue, net sales revenue. Okay, sabi ko nga, we'll be computing this using the sales, tapos i-deduct natin yung mga sales returns and allowances and sales discounts. Okay, so as you can see, sales dito is gross sales natin is 7,850. Tapos, yung sales returns and allowances is 140,000. We deduct it. Tapos, yung sales discounts is 10,000. We also deduct it to get the net sales of 7,700,000. Okay? Tapos, we compute. Kapag na-compute na natin ang net sales, we compute for the cost of goods sold. Okay? Yung amount ng goods na binenta natin. Right? So, to get that, we first get yung beginning inventory or inventory on January 1 of 1 million. We add yung purchases for 5,250. Tapos, we add the net, freight in, 500,000. Remember, freight in ito, it is yung binayaran natin for purchases kasi nga pumasok sa atin. Right? So, freight in. So, we deduct yung purchase returns and allowances of 150 and deduct yung purchase discounts of 100,000. So, ito, pwede nating i-deduct agad-agad sa purchases to get the net purchases. So, pwede nating i-deduct yung 250 agad-agad to get the 5 million na net purchases para yun na lang ang i-add natin. Pero, in this case, is we deducted it separately. Okay? Pero, the same effect lang din naman. To get the, sabi dito is net purchases. Okay? So, 5,500,000. Oh yeah, yung freight in kasi pala, it is added in the purchases to get also the net purchases. Nakalimutan ko. Sorry for that. Pero mostly naman is we pwedeng i-represent ang freight in separately and the net purchases separately. Okay? That is also possible, right? So, in that case, we should add the freight in to the net purchases. Take note on that. So, net purchases of 5,500,000, we add it to the inventory of 1 million to get the goods available for sale of 6,500,000. Okay, we deduct yung inventory at the end of 1,500,000 to get the cost of sales or cost of goods sold of 5 million. Okay, so dito na yung 5 million natin. Okay, so we deduct yung 5 million sa net sales natin of 7,700,000 to get the gross income of 2,700,000. Okay, so na-compute na natin ang gross income. Kapag na-compute na natin ang gross income, we add yung other income and we deduct yung mga other expenses aside from the cost of sales. Okay, so first, let's take a look yung other income. So, sabi ko kanina, yung other income dito is yung rental income na 250,000 and the dividend revenue na 150. Basta meron ng word na income and revenue, this is considered as other income. Okay? So, yung computation ng other income dito is yung rental income nga na 250 and dividend revenue na 150 to get the other income of 400,000, which is here, 400,000. Right, so we add this to the gross income, okay, to get the total income of 3,100,000. Okay, basta i-add natin ito sa gross income, tapos we deduct yung mga expenses. So, nakalagay dito na expenses, meron tayong selling expenses dito. We also have the administrative expenses dito. Tapos, we have the other expenses, which is the losses. Okay, yung loss on sale na dalawa dito. Okay, so let's take a look. Yung distribution cost or otherwise called the selling expense. Kasi nga, kapag nagsesell tayo, nagdi-distribute tayo, right? So, that is also called distribution cost. Okay, so, yung distribution cost, we just simply add all of this, yung selling expenses na nakalagay dito. A quick note, kapag meron sa problem, meron nakalagay na depreciation, at di nyo alam kung saan ito ilalagay, just take a look kung ano ang equipment or what is the related asset. Right? So, for example, dito, yung depreciation dito is yung related asset is store equipment. Siyempre, ang store equipment is used in order to sell. Right? Kasi nga store. So, this will be under the selling expense. Habang sa administrative expense naman, yung depreciation dito is under the ang related asset is the office equipment. So, office equipment, siyempre, ginagamit sa office. So, offices is used for the administrative purposes. So, this will be under the administrative expenses. Okay, so that is a quick note on the depreciation. So, yun nga, yung distribution cost, i-add lang natin ng mga to, 175 plus 650 plus 125. Evidenced by here, yung distribution cost is 175 plus 650 plus 125. Total distribution cost is 950. Okay, so 950,000, that is the total distribution cost or the selling expense. Next is the administrative. Again, we just add all of this, yung office salaries and depreciation to get the 800,000. Okay, tapos yung other expenses naman is yung losses. Okay. Dito, yung mga losses, loss on sale of equipment of 50 and loss on sale of investment of 50 to get the total other expenses of 100. Okay, so kung na-compute na natin ang mga yun, na-compute na natin ang total expenses, we just simply add all of them, tapos we deduct it from the income. Right, so bale 3 million ito ang total income natin. So, we will be deducting yung 1,850 na expenses natin to get the income before tax of 1,250. Okay, yung 1,250 is before tax nga ito, right? Wala pang nade-deduct na tax. So, we will be deducting yung income tax. Nakalagay dito sa given na income tax, 250,000. So, we deduct 250 to get the net income of 1 million. Okay, so yung net income is na-deduct na ang income tax. Always remember that. Okay? So, 1 million ang net income natin. So, this is a sample on the on how to make an income statement from or income statement of a merchandising business. Okay, next is the manufacturing. So, ang manufacturing kasi meron siyang mga different types of inventory. Right? So, na-discuss naman natin ito. So, ang inventories ng isang manufacturing type, we have dito sa baba. We have the raw materials. Siyempre, ito yung mga binibili natin to make the finished goods or yung mga ibebenta natin. An example of raw material is wood, steel, mga ganon, stones. Basta nakikita natin at the finished product, yun ang raw materials natin. Right? So, for example, if we are making a scissor, pag gunting ang binibenta natin, siyempre ang raw materials natin doon is yung steel for the scissor itself and yung plastic for the handles. Okay? So, first is the raw materials. Tapos, syempre, after natin bumili ng raw materials, ipa-process naman natin. Pero hindi naman lahat ng ipa-process natin is matatapos natin. So, the next type of inventory is the cost of goods in process or goods in process. So, ito yung goods in process natin. So, yung mga ginagawa pa lang pero hindi pa natatapos. Okay? Next is the finished goods. Ito na yung natapos na, right? Pero hindi pa natin nabebenta. Okay? So, yung finished goods, ito na yung pwede nating ibenta at for the current year. Okay? So, first, let's take a look at the information provided by Christian Company. Gagawin natin ulit ang income statement. First is the sales of 8 million. Okay? Sales, dito tayo mag-start. Sales. Tapos, sales salaries. Ang sales salaries, this has no effect on the sales kasi nga, ang sales salaries, ito lang yung salaries ng mga employee natin na nagbebenta. So, walang effect ito sa sales. Ito ay isang expense. Okay? Specifically, selling expense. Next is advertising, 120,000. This is also an expense. Indirect labor. So, ang indirect labor, this is part of the manufacturing overhead. Right? Ang overhead kasi, kasama dito ang mga indirect costs na kasama to make the inventory or yung basta mga indirect na cost natin na ginagamit natin to make yung mga binebenta natin. Okay, so indirect labor is under manufacturing overhead. Next is in delivery expense. This is an expense under the selling expense. Freight in, i-add natin ito. I-add natin sa purchases to get the net purchases. Next is depreciation or machinery. So, this is for the operating naman ito. Kasi hindi naman ito under selling, right? Next is factory taxes. Yung factory taxes, this will be under the overhead kasi nga it is a cost or expense na ginamit natin for the factory. Yung factory, it is used to make inventory. So, in a way, yung taxes na ito is a cost na consume natin or na incur natin in making the inventory. Kasi nga, yung factory is used to make the inventory. Next is purchases, used to compute for the cost of goods sold. Direct labor, it is a separate account to get the manufacturing cost natin. Okay? Separate account ito na i-add natin sa raw materials used. Okay? Okay, next is factory supplies expense. So, it is also an expense, siyempre. Office supplies expense. Yung factory supplies expense pala, it is under the overhead. Kasi nga, like yung factory taxes, it is an expense used in making the connected siya sa factory. Tapos, yung factory is used to make the inventory, right? So, this is under overhead. Office salaries, expense ito. Factory superintendent. So, tulad din ng mga ibang may factory under overhead. Kasi, hindi naman Yung superintendent kasi, yung salary nito is hindi naman directly na na-affect yung paggawa ng inventory, pero it is still a part of making the inventory. Hindi nga lang siya directly involved. Pero kasama pa rin siya sa yung overhead. Next is doubtful accounts. Yung doubtful accounts is ito yung mga receivable natin na hindi natin mako-collect, so we incurred it as an expense. Okay? Next is factory maintenance, overhead din ito. Factory heat, light, and power to this is under overhead ulit. Okay, so and last is yung income tax. So, dito na yung mga inventory balances, yung mga finished goods, 200,000 decrease, goods in process, 90,000 decrease, and raw materials, 100,000 increase. So, kapag ganito ang given, we just assume amount, right? So, kapag finished goods, 200,000 decrease, kasi nga nag-decrease siya, beginning inventory of finished goods is 0, tapos beginning inventory of finished goods is 200,000, tapos ending is 0. Right? From 200, naging 0, 200,000 decrease yun. Okay? Next is goods in process. Dahil decrease ulit, beginning inventory is 90,000, tapos ending inventory is 0 to get para mag-decrease siya ng 90,000. Raw materials, 100,000 increase. We assume na 0 ang beginning raw materials, tapos ang ending is 100,000. So, from 0 in the beginning, 100,000 at the end, nag-increase siya ng 100,000. Okay, you just assume amount. First is yung sales revenue or net sales. Pero, walang nakalagay dito na sales returns and sales discounts, right? So, kahit hindi na natin bigyan ng note, kasi nga, solo lang siya, sales revenue, 8 million. Next is yung cost of goods sold. So, yung cost of goods sold, this is the complicated part. Kasi in order to get the cost of goods sold, we need to get the cost of goods manufactured or yung cost of goods na nagawa natin for the current period. Okay? So, in order to get the cost of goods manufactured, we need to present yung statement of cost of goods manufactured. Pero kahit wala na ito, kahit i-present na natin directly. So first, in order to get the cost of goods manufactured, we begin with the purchases. Normally, we begin with the beginning raw materials, right? Pero wala namang na-provide na raw materials dito. We just tinagay lang dito ang increase or decrease. Pero we can assume amounts, sabi ko nga kanina. So in order to get the increase in raw materials of 100,000, we assume na 0 ang beginning inventory. So, beginning inventory, 0, tapos plus purchases of 1,600,000 plus yung freight in na 80,000 to get the total of 1,680. Tapos, we deduct yung ending raw materials to get. So, we assume na yung ending raw materials is 100,000. So, 100,000, we deduct it, ending raw materials, to get the raw materials used or yung ginamit natin na 1,580. Okay, bale, halos parehas lang din sila ng sa cost of goods sold under the merchandising, pero papalitan lang natin yung mga inventory using the raw materials. Okay? So, beginning, tapos plus purchases, plus freight in, tapos we deduct yung ending to get the raw materials used, 1,580. So, kapag na-compute na natin ang raw materials used, we can now compute for the manufacturing cost. In order to get the manufacturing cost, we add yung tatlo, yung raw materials, direct labor, and your overhead. Okay, yung tatlo yon, tatlo ang nagko-comprise ng manufacturing cost. So, na-compute na natin ang raw material. Yun yung raw materials used, 1,580. Tapos, na-present na ang direct labor. 1,480. Nakalagay yung direct labor sa given. Okay, 1,480. Ang i-compute na lang natin is yung overhead. Remember, ang mga overhead, ito yung mga indirectly na nagko-contribute sa paggawa ng ating inventory. So, sabi ko nga kanina, yung indirect labor, that is also one part. Depreciation machinery is, machinery pala kasama sa overhead. Kasi nga, yung machinery is ginagamit natin to make inventory. Okay? So, yung depreciation nito is kasama sa pag-compute ng overhead. So, 50,000. Tapos, factory taxes, yung mga may factory, lahat ng mga to. 1/3 factory taxes, factory supplies, factory superintendent, factory maintenance, and factory heat, light, and power. So, all of this is part of the overhead. Basta merong factory or mga machinery at mga indirect na word, those are part of the overhead kasi nga nagko-contribute sila sa paggawa ng inventory natin. Albeit indirectly lang, hindi directly tulad ng raw materials and direct labor. So, to get yung overhead natin is 1,750. So, meron na tayong overhead, direct labor, and raw materials. We add all of these three to get the manufacturing cost of 9,4,810. Kung meron na tayong manufacturing cost, we simply add yung beginning goods in process, tapos deduct yung ending goods in process to get the cost of goods manufactured. Pero nakalagay dito, yung goods in process natin is 90,000 decrease. So, we assume amounts again. To get, para magkaroon ng decrease, we assume na yung beginning inventory ay beginning goods in process is 90,000 and yung ending goods in process natin is 0. So, in the beginning, 90,000 and the end, 0. So, 90,000 to 0, that is a decrease of 90,000. Okay? So, for 810, yung manufacturing cost, we add yung beginning goods in process of 90,000. Tapos, we deduct yung ending goods in process na 0 to get, bale, for 810 plus 90 less 0. So, makukuha natin yung cost of goods manufactured of 4,900,000. So, bale, ito na yung gagamitin natin to get the cost of goods sold. Okay, so, hindi ito na yung cost of goods manufactured natin. So, 4,900,000. In order to get the cost of goods sold, we add the beginning finished goods and deduct the ending finished goods. Okay, so, halos, just remember na halos lahat ng computation nito, we add the beginning, then we deduct the ending. Right? So, wag nyo nang isipin pa kung ano yun, mag-assume na lang kayo ng amount. Basta add yung beginning, tapos deduct yung ending. So, ang given, decrease of 200,000 sa finished goods. Let's assume amounts again, ng sinabi ko kanina. At the beginning, 200,000, at the end, 0. Para 200,000 to 0, that is a decrease of 200,000. Okay, so, beginning finished goods of 200,000, i-add natin sa cost of goods manufactured. Tapos, we deduct the ending finished goods of 0. So, 4,900,000 plus 200,000 less 0. Cost of goods sold is 5,100,000. So, this is the cost of goods sold. So, na-compute na natin ang cost of goods sold. 5,100,000. So, from here, it's basically the same as the merchandising. We deduct it from the sales revenue to get the gross income. Tapos, from the gross income, we deduct the expenses. Okay, yung expenses natin is administrative na lang. Ay, meron din pa meron ding selling. Hindi lang nakat lang. Sorry, nakat yan. So, yung selling natin is yung lahat ng mga connected sa selling pagbenta natin. So, yung salaries ng salesperson or sales salaries, 520. Yung advertising, syempre, kapag nag-advertise na tayo, that is a part of the selling expense. delivery expense. Okay, so all of this is 800,000. Tapos yung administrative naman, yung office supplies, yung mga may office, lahat ng mga may office is administrative. Tapos yung doubtful account, this is also administrative, 100,000. Okay, so total of 230. So, ay, 230 ba yun? 1,030,000 pala. Ay, 930, sabi ko pala. 930. So, 930 plus yung distribution cost na 800,000 to get the total cost of total expenses of 1,730. Okay, yung 1,730, we deduct it from the gross income of 29 to get the net income before tax of 1,170. Then we deduct yung tax na 170 to get the net income of 1 million. Okay? So, bale, ang difference lang naman ng manufacturing and merchandising is on getting the cost of goods sold. So, please memorize yung sinend ko sa inyo last time na PowerPoint kasi nandun yung solution on how to get all of these, right? So, yes, that will be all. Please prepare for your midterms next meeting. Thank you and have a good day.